Through the Dark Woods podcast, where we recognize that grief is a big part of what makes us beautifully, achingly human. I'm Josiah Tamira Crossley, founder of Dark Woods of Grief, and after over 25 years of walking this path, I believe that major loss and trauma can either break us or break us open. When we can approach our grief with kindness, with support, and with skill, it can transform into our deepest medicine for ourselves and for the world. Most of us aren't raised with an understanding of how to do this, though. Western society doesn't offer cultural context or effective practices for this work, so it can be easy to feel lost in the dark woods. This podcast is designed to be a light in the dark, and it's for two kinds of travelers on this journey. If you're walking through grief yourself, whether from death, divorce, diagnosis, or any of the thousands of ways that life asks us to let go, you'll find companionship here. Tools grounded in embodiment, permission to feel it all without the story that there's something wrong with you. Spoiler alert, there's not. Feeling deeply is a healthy human thing. And eventually, with the right support, you will reconnect with your own innate joy, aliveness, and you'll begin to find your own inner light within the dark. And if you're being called to tend to grief as a therapist, guide, coach, or simply someone who knows this work is needed in your community, probably because you've been through your own grief journey, this podcast is also for you. Because the world is calling for more of us who can hold spaces where suffering can transform into medicine and broken hearts become pathways to deeper connection. So whether you're seeking your own healing or you're seeking training to guide others, you're in the right place. So welcome to the podcast. We currently have at Dark Woods of Grief several programs open for enrollment, including the fall cohort of our level 1 grief tending and ritual facilitation training. You can learn more about this at darkwoodsofgrief.com/roots-of-ritual. Also, you can find that link in the show notes. If you're somebody who's already holding space for others, you're a therapist, coach, bodyworker, yoga teacher, group facilitator, or you've walked through deep grief yourself and emerged with a calling to help others navigate their own dark woods. Maybe people trust you naturally, you find them coming to you, but you can feel yourself holding back. Maybe you're facilitating groups, but keeping the intensity dialed down, afraid to really open the space because you're not sure that you can hold what might emerge. Maybe you can sense when someone's right at the edge of a breakthrough, but you don't have the tools to help them cross that threshold safely. Maybe you're referring people out when deep grief arises because your training gave you frameworks for clinical support, wellness, or physiology, but you can tell something different is needed here. Different kind of medicine that only responds to the language of the soul. And you're good at what you do, but you know there's another level. You want to cultivate that unshakable presence where you can hold transformation without contracting, where you can trust yourself to meet whatever arises. You're ready for something deeper. You'd love to expand your skill set so you can support people to alchemize their pain and suffering into the medicine it can be. You'd love to go beyond theory and fine-tune your level of presence so you feel confident meeting the moment no matter what arises. You want real, relevant, tangible skills and structures that you can actually use to meet the needs of the folks you're here to help. And maybe you'd love to be held yourself in a circle of other practitioners who aren't afraid of being with each other in grief. Then this training is for you. So definitely check it out at darkwoodsofgrief.com/roots-of-ritual. And as I mentioned, link is in the show notes. So I am super excited for today's episode. Here we go. Okay, so welcome. I am so excited to be here today with Selina Stanford. Selina is one of the facilitators. She's one of our interns, one of the facilitators in our Black Women's Grief Support Group. She is a Black women's death doula, a spiritual herbalist, a wife, mother of some beautiful babes. They're so gorgeous. Sometimes we get to see them on our calls. We're so blessed. And she's guided into this work by ancestral knowing and the expressed needs of her community. Her calling is rooted in the belief that death and grief are a sacred passage one that deserves presence, ritual, and deep honoring rather than fear. She supports individuals and families through legacy planning, grief tending, and crying circles, weaving together spiritual care, earth based wisdom, and compassionate companionship. As a herbalist, she holds a holistic understanding of the body, spirit, and nervous system, offering grounded support during times of profound change and grief. Her work is centered on dignity, cultural care, and remembrance. And she walks with families as they prepare, release, and honor life, ensuring no one has to navigate these moments alone. And of course, she's also a graduate of our 2025 cohort of our level one grief tending and ritual facilitation training, formerly known as Roots of Ritual. But yeah, so I'm so excited to be here with you today. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I'm like, whoa, is that me?
That's
Whoa,
you. That's
when
you.
did that happen?
Seriously. Yeah, well, and great point, because that is like actually kind of one of my first questions for you is, yeah, do you remember like what originally called you to this very deep work?
Hmm. And I think that's one of the things. I think that's one of the things that it never seemed, not in a dismissive way, not in a dismissive way at all, but it never seemed like deep work. It kind of just seemed like this is also a part of life,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
think just as much as we all love to eat, we have to also wash the dishes. We have to also take out, it's just part of that cycle. And now it's part of the cycle that most don't enjoy or have some hesitancy around. But it's never felt like, oh, we're about to go into this thing. And I think that really comes from uh my upbringing. So I'm the youngest of two. I have an older sister. And my parents were older, so when I was born, my mom was 39 and my dad was about to turn 64.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah, it was almost like, I just got the upload of like, all right, this is what the full spectrum of life looks like.
Yeah. He was basically an elder already.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And
Yeah.
kind of that's the energy that I grew up around, we were in this position. My parents were Christian, heavily Christian.
Mhm.
So, we were kind of that household where folks would come in, people would be in midnight prayer, people would be calling my mom because she's an evangelist of like, oh, we need you to come and speak here. People would be calling on my dad. He was a deacon, like, oh, Deke, we need you to come over here. They were kind of just that couple, and I just kind of that imprinted on me without me even realizing, like, oh, like we were regularly praying for the sick and shut in.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like
Wow. You're like, it's not deep work, that's just the work.
that's just the work. It's
Yeah.
Tuesday. We
Yeah.
might get KFC after this. So it's like it was just part of life.
Yeah.
And it's not until I kind of got older and, peers, being peers, you have those conversations of like, oh, what are your parents doing this weekend? It's like, oh, well, we're about to go to this church to do this, 3-day revival thing. What are you doing? It's like, oh, we're going to the beach. And you
Mm.
kind of like pieced it together of like, oh, there's something more going on here.
Mm.
And I kind of leaned into it
Mhm.
unknowingly. I was like, oh, okay, this is what we do. This is
Yeah,
what we
yeah.
hold space for.
Wow.
And here I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. And you and your husband are part of can you talk about that? I don't know, I don't want to say it wrong. So I'm just gonna you know what
Yes, yes. So my husband and I practice African traditional religion. So my husband is part of a Lukumi house. So Lukumi comes out of the diaspora tradition landed in Cuba,
Okay.
right? And I practice umbrella term Isheshe, but to be more specific, Ifa, which comes out of Yoruba land, Nigeria. Yeah, so we're kind of a hodgepodge of the diaspora and all things African tradition, and that gets expressed through our kids, through our culture, right? Yeah, it's kind of like how we live our lives and the paradigm that we see the world through.
Mm.
It's a
And
wild ride.
yeah, and I'm so curious, like, was there like a transition into that from like growing up
Mm.
with the more like church
Hmm.
background, which I think also has a very strong, like, black church is just different. It's different than white church.
It's a little different.
It's all different. Yeah.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
yes. So I'll say for me, so my husband's from originally from San Diego, Chula Vista. Shout out to Chula Vista. Um, if anybody's listening from there. And he kind of found his way through the academic world,
Mm.
maybe, hopefully. I
Mm.
won't speak for him because he's going to be like, now, Selena,
That's
I don't
that's
want to miss pieces.
yeah.
But for me, it was kind of this deconstruction of self,
Mm.
right? So I would say, like I said, grew up heavily, heavily Christian. I could tell you how many floor tiles were in the kitchen floor in the
Yeah.
church basement. Like that's how
You were spending some time in there.
that's how much we were there. We were on staff
Yeah.
without being on
Yeah.
staff.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Um,
Mm.
then I kind of, going through life. My dad died when I was 18, so in I graduated in June from high school. My dad was gone in December.
Wow.
So, not only this whole, okay, society says now it's time to go to college and know what you're supposed to do for the rest of your life.
So
Also, one of the biggest pillars in your life dies.
yeah. Wow.
So it's like, okay, all
Yeah.
right, here we are. Here
Yeah.
we are. So I had a little bit of a stumbling, right? I had to kind of find my way,
Yeah.
and it made me question a lot of things, right?
Wow.
It made me question not necessarily why, um, but it made me question what now? Like,
Mhm.
is this really what I want to be doing? Because child, I've told the story in the grief groups a couple times. I just knew I was going to be somebody's marine biologist. I just knew I was going to be on a boat, counting whale sperm and
Oh, very
migrating with
cool.
dolphins or something. I just knew that that's what I was going to be doing.
Yeah.
Um, and kind of that was the roadmap. And then it switched to athletic training and this, to that, all the other things. But somewhere in there between, it was like, okay, the things that you were taught are, and the things that you're doing, are you doing because you were taught them? Are you doing them because that you believe in them? And are they serving you?
Yeah.
Um, so I had a little mini death there,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
had a shedding. Um, and it kind of ushered me. One of my elders said to me once, you become initiated before you're formally initiated. So
Mhm.
that was definitely one of those moments there, and kind of found my way through community. Um, I was just searching for stuff, searching for a community, found myself in an African dance class one night,
Nice. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and met my husband.
Oh, wow.
And kind of
Oh,
just
wow. Yeah.
introduced me to this world.
Cool.
And it was so funny because we wear something called a leques.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, I really like your necklaces. And he's like,
Uh,
well,
mhm.
let me tell you about them. And
Mhm.
like kind of the
You're
more
like, fine.
full.
Yeah. 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 Oh, cool.
So
Mhm.
yeah. And then I kind of it just got on the accelerator of all things, African tradition, all things Ishe. And I was like, wow, wow, this is kind of not feeling a whole, but it kind of felt like coming back to a home that I never even knew I had,
Yeah.
right?
That's so powerful.
Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, and it was so precious and so beautiful and so turbulent.
Mhm. Yeah.
And all the things in between that I was like, okay, this I can get down with, this I can rock with. And
Mhm.
been here ever since. And that was 2019. It doesn't seem long ago,
Yeah.
but COVID time.
Oh, yeah. It's a whole era.
It's
Yeah.
so era.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And I mean that's actually that's 7 years too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's interesting because in the a lot of the the old European traditions, 7 years is a very significant number.
Mm.
Like in a lot of the fairy tales, it's like, and they were off in the forest for 7 years, and then they return, kind of thing. So, yeah,
The world can turn a couple times
it sure
in
can.
7 years, so I
Happen.
believe it.
Yeah, yeah, wow, cool. So, and I don't know, I want to ask this. I don't know if you're gonna want to answer this, but what was it like with your for your mom to see you like kind of sh
Oh, it was a no. It was a
uh,
no. It
uh,
was a no. So,
yeah,
so it started with, it's 2020. We're at home.
mm,
Um, I'm trying to like now I can't go out, right? I can't go out in community.
yeah,
Um, and have these teachings, have these learnings. So I'm
yeah,
buying books, books,
yeah,
books with crazy names.
yeah,
Names in Yoruba,
uh,
talking about, just crazy, crazy books
yeah,
that are not the Bible.
yeah,
Okay.
totally,
Um,
yeah.
and she sees me doing things, she sees me wearing certain things now, or speaking a certain way, calling people different things like mama and baba and like all these different honorifics. Like we didn't grow up with that.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
and my mom, for context, is very, very Southern, you know,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Winston-Salem,
Uh-huh.
Tar Heels.
Yeah.
Um, very Southern and very, I'm gonna ask you, but I'm gonna not ask you, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and just a black mom,
Strong
black,
woman, I bet.
a
Yeah.
black
Strong.
woman, and
Yeah.
wants to know what's going on with her child. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I say all that to say it was a very we had a some sticky moments there of like,
Mhm.
yeah, mom, when I had to formally, say like,
Mm.
yeah, I don't identify as Christian.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
it
Wow.
was like, well, what else could you be?
Yeah.
What,
Wow.
what
Yeah.
like what else? And I think even looking back now as a parent, it's almost the questioning of like, did I do something wrong?
Oh, no.
And
Yeah.
it's like it's not one of those things. I really think
Mm.
that it's a testament to my parents raising me right.
Yeah, exactly. Good
Um,
roots, right?
right, right. And really saying like, okay,
Mm.
even though I don't subscribe to what I grew up with, I subscribe to something, and it enhances and betters my life, right? And it betters my family, it betters my community. This is
Yeah.
how I can express that.
Yeah.
Um, but oh no, Verl, that's my
Yeah.
mom's name.
Uh,
Verl, she was no,
no.
she
No.
was not
Yeah.
for it in the beginning.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
was not for it in the beginning. But I
Oh.
have I have to say the beautiful part is now,
Mm.
we took baby steps,
Uh-huh.
right? So especially with me becoming a mother for the first time,
Mm.
I was the first between my mom and my sister. I was the only one that breastfed. So all of these steps along the way, um, kind of were many, many connections for us. And
Yeah.
it's like, this is all what I believe in. This is what how I want to live my life. And I I think I
Mm.
thank the higher powers, Olodumare, that my mother was, I don't know if it's wisdom, I don't know if it's love,
Mm.
open, open
Mm.
enough
Mhm.
to still come in, right? Still take a step into my world.
Yeah, beautiful.
It's kind of one of those. Now I ain't gonna sit down and have dinner, but I'm
Mm.
gonna I'm gonna come over for a little bit, see what y'all
Mhm.
doing, and then go back home.
Mhm.
Um, and
Yeah.
so thankful for that. She's been part of my children's naming ceremonies.
Beautiful.
All of our wedding, we had a traditional wedding. All of those moments she's been
Mm.
a part of. She's like, I don't really know what all this means, but but
Okay,
I'm gonna
I'm
do
here.
it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do it anyway.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yes, yes.
What a gift.
It's been wonderful to be on this side of it now and be able to have those conversations with her. Um,
Mm,
and you know, same thing. Some things I understand now about Christianity and how she shows up in the world more that I study Ifa,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Because
it's
some of it's
amazing.
aligned, right? Some of it lines up, but yeah, like in a lot of, yeah, it's so
Yeah.
interesting because yeah, my husband, I didn't grow up religious. My mom is like, I think she was kind of running away from it too. She was like
Mm,
every woman,
that's
but
real.
yeah, but my husband's mom is very like Roman Catholic and like, but she's still just like totally accepts us, even though we're like wildly not. You know? And it's cool when we find the like common points of alignment and then like yeah, and it's like just when somebody has love and wisdom, I think too, maybe both, bit of both, you know, it's like that she can just show up in our lives and you know, sometimes she's just like okay, like you know.
It's the okays. I
Yeah.
think that's a universal, like, oh,
Yes.
okay. Just the universal. I don't know what y'all doing,
Yeah.
but
I'm not gonna ask to go deeper with understanding. We're just gonna accept that we're all love each other here. Yeah.
yes, yes. I love it.
Oh my
I
God.
love it.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm so glad that that's been, yeah, that outcome because that's really precious. And
Mm,
yeah, there's something so special about, yeah, the spirit that runs through all of it, right? And
right.
yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Wow.
Absolutely.
Can you talk about the expressed needs of your community that you mentioned
Mm,
in your bio
mm,
and
mm,
yeah,
mm.
that draw towards the grief tending and the yeah. Mhm.
Mm. I'm just even feeling the question in my own body. Express the needs.
Mhm.
Mm.
Mhm.
It almost feels like asking like what is the need to breathe,
Mhm.
right? It's like I don't know all the biology and the physiology. I just know it's something that any human that's living needs,
Yeah,
right? Is
yeah.
this breath. So I think when it comes to grief work, the needs, at least for the Black folk I see that I'm in community with, right? In what's the man's name? Al Roker, in my neck of the woods, right? Um, is is just even to be able to say it,
Yeah.
to be able to name it, to not be judged for it, um, and to let it be expressed however it wants to be expressed,
Yeah.
right? For some, it looks like wailing, crying, you know, the wailing circles. For some, it looks like standing barefoot outside in the grass. Um, for some, it looks like cooking a whole bunch of different meals and just letting it process through. Um, but I think the thing that us as Black people, at least in my community, we don't do enough is name it as a grief and then not have to do some actionable, tangible thing after.
Right.
Um, and where does that come from? There, right? There's a very uh mm, there's a necessity to that, right? We aren't in a space as a community to say, okay, I have this grief. All right, let me slow down my timeline. Let me slow down my day. Let me, you know, take those days off of work. For a lot of us, we have to grieve whatever way pockets we can or not and keep it pushing,
Yeah.
right? I think that's very real. And, you know, I've personally seen that and sometimes experienced that firsthand of like, okay, you've had this loss, right? Even if it's not a physical loss, you know, I didn't get that job that I thought I was going to get, or, you know, this friendship ended and I have no, you know, clue why. And it's just this thing that I'm carrying, but it's like, okay, you still got to clock in. You still, you know, you still got to feed these kids. You still have to
Yeah.
show up as this auntie, uncle, you know, cousin, sister, mom, you know, whatever identities that we've interact with, we still have to show up as that. There is no let's all slow down together, acknowledge this, be able to have ritual around it and have an ending um,
Mm.
that you did or didn't get. And
Yeah.
I think that's sometimes what can be so maybe not the word that's coming up is damaging, but it almost feels like tear, right? That's the tear of like, and then it's just it. It's like
Yeah.
the ending in the middle of a sentence. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
almost like that holding of your breath.
Yeah.
And to have so many of those, it's sometimes like death by a thousand paper cuts.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Um,
seeing the image, like when you say the terror, I'm seeing the image of just like walking and like tattered, but tattered, like not physically, but like emotionally
yes,
tattered, right? And not
yes.
having the space to land with all that. Yeah.
Having a space to land, even if we don't have to know the answer, but just having somewhere of like, okay, this
Mm.
is where I can be witnessed.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I
Yeah.
think there's something to that. At least that's the piece that I can do. Now
Yeah.
we need all the things. We need somebody
Yeah.
to cook.
Yeah.
We need
Totally.
we need all those pieces.
Yeah.
But the way that I show up with supporting grief work
Mhm.
is to have that space.
Beautiful. Yeah. And you have been mostly working one-on-one with people, or can you describe the work that you have been doing in your community? And I know then you have this upcoming thing that I'm so excited to talk about too, but
Yes. So what it has looked like, it is very much so old school, which I enjoy, but Spirit has called me to do a little bit better. I got called out. It's been very much so one-on-one work.
Yeah.
Somebody will hear that I'm a death doula, or I'll just be, at a cookout and somebody will say something like, maybe you should, that kind of sounds like death doula work. They're like, what is that?
Yeah.
Like, it's not exactly the most um popular thing to bring
Yeah.
up in some of
Totally.
these settings, especially like at a baby shower or something like that. But it still shows up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been very word of mouth, very one-on-one space, very intimate.
Mm.
Um, and
Mhm.
and just because that's just the nature of what it's been. I think full disclosure, I'm Pisces. So I'm just very yes.
Yeah.
I'm just very oh,
Flowing, go with the flow. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Just very much so that, and that's what the work has turned into.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Spirit's not fine with that.
Mm.
So I've been opening up space to hold, I've been working on myself, sitting with myself to be able to say, okay, how can we hold this in a larger capacity? Um, yes. And I think that goes to what you're alluding to of this next
With
chapter.
the whaling circles. Yeah. 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 Beautiful. And and I don't know if you want to talk about this to preface it either, but like when I first met you, I remember you saying like, yeah, like you're responding to like major things happening in your community.
Yes, yes. So in the daytime, I try to keep this on the DL. I don't know why, but it's like Batman. But I in the daytime I am a therapist. So I'm an LPC. Yeah, and the work that I do at my job, I work for a nonprofit, Sankofa Healing Studios, shout out to them. Based out of Philadelphia. So we do a lot of work in the Black community with underserved communities, so around community violence, previously and currently incarcerated folks, that reentry space, all of the transitions, in between of what that looks like. Those are kind of the folks we see. And if you know a hint about Philadelphia, there's a high community violence rate, right?
Yes.
And especially in the Black community. Um, our crime rate isn't high in neighborhoods like Ardmore,
Yeah.
and Roxborough. It's in the city. Um,
Yeah.
so those are the types of folks that we see and sit and hold space for. Um, and you hear all the stories. You
Yeah.
hear all the stories, not just about, somebody, my child being murdered or whatever, but you also hear those things in between of, I was just abandoned, or, I don't want to say victim, but I survived or survivor of the foster system. That can sometimes be just
Oh yeah.
as hard, as
Yeah.
traumatic. Um, yeah, so those are the folks that I sit with daily.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's who I'm in community with.
Yeah.
And it's hard and I love it,
Hmm.
right? It's so hard. And we've had conversations about, wow, what does ritual look like for yourself? You
Yeah.
know?
Oh
Um,
yeah. To be able to
e-
take care of yourself amidst that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Even going through the training of like, okay, I know you've said many times of I'll go to the land when you're doing retreats, like maybe weeks or however beforehand and just ask. And, that's kind of the same things that we're steeped in of we don't know what we're going to hear, who we're going to, sit with from
Yeah.
hour to hour and really being steeped in what does this look like to protect yourself,
Yeah.
and be able to cut the ties with some of those stories because they will stay with you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And we almost need, yeah, ritual space in order to do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I'm getting chills just as you're speaking now because it's like, that uh, the levels of need in the community, right? It's like there's levels of it from like, how do I get through sitting with this to like, what were the people who are in those experiences, right? And what's gonna most help them? And so when you came to me with that story of like where you're working in, and then like your vision of bringing these West African style whaling rituals back into your community, I just was like it makes me teary even just to like start talking about it right now. So
Yes.
yeah, wow.
Ah, it's the dream, it's the vision, it's gonna get done, right? It's one of those who's gonna pick up the torch, who's gonna, introduce it in this way. Um, I think something that our community can also, well, the community that I'm within, sometimes when we're trying to bring in these rituals or something that we've read about, but haven't experienced firsthand or haven't, gone to Benin or somewhere and learned from somebody. It's like, well, at least for me, it's been this moment of, am I being an imposter? Am I allowed to do this? Nobody gave me the authority to do this. And there's definitely those spaces and places where you need that. You need that approval by your
Sure,
community.
sure. Yeah.
And somebody has to do it.
Yeah, somebody has to start. You have to start somewhere, right?
Somebody has to start it.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
because we're bleeding out. We're
Yeah.
bleeding out. Somebody has to.
Exactly. It's like if you're on the scene of, yeah, literally you say bleed, like literally someone's bleeding to death and you're standing there being like, no one is certified in first aid. So are we just not going to do anything? No,
Right.
of course not. We're
Right.
going to do
It's
our best, right? And
right. It's like, oh, there's no anesthesiologist. Well, we don't need that right
yeah,
now. We'll get there if we can get them to the hospital. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, so this is absolutely that baby step towards that, towards birthing that, what that could look like.
yeah.
Um, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited for like I talked about earlier, just that space to fall apart
Mhm.
because so
Yeah,
many don't get that.
yeah, exactly. And it's almost like, I mean, of course, there's like complexity to ritual, but there's also just that simplicity of like making a space where we're just like, there's permission here to
Right.
part, to
Right.
express, to be together in that. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. And I think I really had to sit and take a page um out of the training and even how the groups are structured, at Dark Woods of Grief of just like even if it's just doodling, when we do the shuttles
Mhm.
and it's like it however it shows up in your body. And that's the same with the wailing circle. I don't want people to think like, oh, I have to be rolling on the ground and it's like
Yeah.
it don't gotta be that. It's
Yeah.
just be witness. Just
Yeah.
be witness. Don't have a space where your body doesn't have to hold it all,
Mhm.
and just in this moment, you might, like I said, you might have to go back out that door and show up as whoever, or whatever. But right now, right here in this space, you don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. So beautiful. Yeah, and then it doesn't have to look a certain way. It's just permission. It's just permission. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I
Yeah.
love it. I mean, I feel like, and it's so funny because you were like, at one point, you were like, yeah, I've been looking for books by people who are doing this thing. I'm like,
There's no books, child.
be writing it.
It's like, oh, because there's no books.
Yeah.
I mean, and if anybody listening knows the books,
Yeah.
please.
Send them our way.
Because I'm like, okay, what is the construction of how do we, and I think that's something that, like I said, there definitely is somewhere, somehow. Um, and I'm hoping my honest intention with this is that it's spirit led and it just shows up what it needs to be in that moment, how it needs to be. And I really have to, because I will sit there and go through all the stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It
and I
will.
think oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just said it will be. I'm sure it will be. It will be. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping. And it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that we go in unprepared or just, I have a big gulp from 7-Eleven. I'm just going to stroll in. I mean, but I really, the intention with this is to really, really just have a space for community, to let a piece of it go,
Yeah.
right? With those
Yeah.
wailing circles, which is with this communal type
Mhm.
of grieving. But yeah, even now I think I might show up with a big gulp. If that's what regulates me in that moment,
I feel like that would be awesome.
hope nobody judges me.
Just like a kind of audacious, just for any part that feels like that imposter, just like be like, you get over that. We're gonna show up here with the big gulp.
Right, right.
But
It's like, y'all, this
yeah,
is what I needed in the moment. Like, I
yeah,
hope you can understand.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah, because
yeah.
we're human. We're human.
I'm so excited for this, and like I want to get back on here and talk to you about it afterwards. So,
Yes.
because I think it's going to be so beautiful. And
Yes. Yes. And I'm hoping to come see you in
yeah,
April.
I know that'll be amazing. We can
Yes.
make that happen. Yeah,
Yes.
or me down
Yes.
there. That's the other thought is me getting down there. You know.
Yes.
So,
Come.
hmm
Come.
I would love.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I would love to do a follow-up of like, listen, y'all, what I
Yeah.
thought I said do, don't
Yes.
do. This is what worked,
Totally.
didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and
Totally.
everything in between.
I know I'm like, I feel like I wanted to talk about it more, but I'm like, I think we shouldn't talk about it too much before. You know what I mean? Because it's like this kind of that holding of the like energy of it without
Yes.
distributing it out
It's
to the world.
this is the pregnancy stage.
Yes, exactly.
We're
Yeah,
in the womb right now,
yeah,
being
exactly.
ready to be birthed. So, and birth looks however, you can
It's
have a
however it
birthing
looks.
plan.
Yeah, exactly.
However,
Yeah,
baby
yeah.
wants to show up, that's what it's gonna be.
Exactly, exactly. And that really is how it is with ritual, like I can say from like many years now of doing it that it's like every time I'm learning things, every time, every time and every time it's amazing. It's beautiful, but it's also like every time we're learning because when we open ourselves to just be guided by spirit, then spirit's going to be constantly teaching us and showing us new things every time and deepening. And so, yeah, I'm just so excited to hear about it.
Yes, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. And I think even you saying that, you know, at least the spirits that I work with, they sometimes got jokes. I don't know about. And it's like, all right, I could have learned this lesson another way, y'all.
Yes.
But it's still beautiful all the same.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. 100%. Well, you gotta have a sense of humor to do this work. That's for damn sure. You don't survive a minute without a sense of humor.
Yes, yes. You have to hold on to your joy for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, beautiful. Um, if we have listeners out there who are thinking about stepping into the level one training,
Mhm.
I wonder if there's anything that you would share with them about that. Yeah.
Yes. Um, in my mind, it's like the doors of the church are open. Come on down to the altar. That's literally what came up in my mind.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
I would, I would say take the step. Take the step, even if you don't have, I would say take the step, especially if you don't have it figured out. Because if you had it figured out, you might not do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, for me, we've had this conversation when I did my interview with you. It's just like I'm just trying to find something. I don't know how this is supposed to look. I just know what I see, right? And I know the feeling that it gives me in my body,
Mm,
right? I don't have the words, I don't have the vocab,
yeah.
but I'm willing to sit and listen,
Yeah.
right?
Mm,
And I think that's something that sometimes people get caught up on. It's like, okay, if I do this and I take this training, it's supposed to be a replica of what. And it's like, I think you really give the space to be like, this is a framework, right? Some things do have that level of, all right, don't just be leaving people out there. Like some things we gotta
mhm,
do some things. We gotta
mhm.
open the circle, close the circle, and
Sure.
hold that space,
Mhm,
right? But really giving, I think this is a training that gives you structure and also gives you so much autonomy,
mm, mm,
right? Of like, this is what it looks for me as a Black woman.
yeah.
Some of these pieces I could do, some of these pieces my aunties and uncles be like, Selena, what?
No. Yeah.
Like, Selena, what'd you do? What'd you say? We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. And it's like, oh, you know, and and you
Yeah.
have to you have to put that on, try it
Mm,
on and see what it looks like for yourself, but you can't try it on if you don't go to the department store. It's
mm,
like buying clothes online,
mhm.
right? It's a gamble. Like it might work,
Yeah. Yeah.
but if you show up, you
Mm,
you say like, okay, this is kind of what I'm looking for, and be in community, you know.
mhm, mhm.
Even hearing from other folks, in my cohort, I met amazing, Mama Teka and Tisha, people that I love and adore and
Mhm.
learn so much from,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so it's one of those things where you can't even describe it, you just have to do it. And encourage you to do it. Do it scared. Do it
Mhm.
scared, do it hungry, do it
Mm.
half awake. I think I filled out the application half awake, like
Yeah, because you had a baby. You were pregnant, right? When you applied, yeah. And then you had a baby literally during the training. I'm not like on the call, but like pretty much almost.
like child, all types of sleep dysregulation. I was just out here, you know. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and it was great. It was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you did the internship, or you're in the internship now. And so you came back and to the second, like came through the training again as part of the internship and a little more awake this time, a little more. Yeah.
Right? A little bit more on board, a little less more, I mean, a little bit less hormonal, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
eh.
Yeah.
The
Nursing
kids
a
are
bit
still
less,
on the
but
call,
still he's
but
still there. Yeah, he was still there. Yes.
absolutely.
Such a cutie. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think it does, even if you don't have a baby in the middle of the training, it still takes almost like, like integrating. And then that's why we offer the internship, because it almost like you need to go through it again, to really integrate it, because there's a lot in there, I think. Yeah.
Yes. And I think it's it's almost like I don't know why. I think Black people just talk in analogies, but it's almost like, baking the biscuits and then going back and putting butter on them. It's like you could
Mm.
eat it without the butter, but it's better with the butter. Wait, and
Mm.
melt the butter on top.
Yeah,
It
I like
tastes
that
so
analogy.
much
That's still
better.
pretty.
And that's really what it's been for me. It's like, okay, I got a hearty start, but then, even sometimes, and you meet different people, it's like, oh, I like the way you said that. Or,
Mhm.
and even to see how you've grown, Josia, of like even visiting Ireland and bringing in these different pieces, and it's like, oh, snap.
Yeah.
Black people drink at our funerals too.
Yes.
We be doing some of the same
Like,
stuff.
so many similarities actually, like crossover between like West African
Yeah.
culture and the Irish. It's pretty amazing actually. I think the
Mhm.
Irish are probably slightly more offensive. Like,
Well, we all gotta grow.
yes.
We all grow
I know,
different.
I'm pretty sure they like being that way.
You said no, no. You said no, no, no. But
Yeah.
and all that to say, just to even see you grow, right, as a facilitator, instructor, all the things that you are has been like, wow. So there really is no cap on this thing.
Yeah.
We can keep going.
Yeah.
Um, it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful to see, even sharing your songs and all
Mm.
the things that, I'm like, would I be able to do that? And I think, that's something that the Darkwoods team really models really well across the board. It's like, we say we do this thing and we gonna do it. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Just do it, just do it. And that's a lot of it, right? Because it's like, to go back to that earlier analogy, it's like somebody's bleeding out on the ground right now. Like there's too much happening and we're so needed, like every single one of us that's called to this work is needed, like on the ground ASAP right now, so that's, yeah, a big part of my intention with this training is just like very practical. Like let's get on the ground and just start doing it and doing it in our own ways and doing it, in a safe enough way. But
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, so super excited to hear about your ritual. And I don't think I've ever laughed so much on a podcast. So this has been really
Oh
fun.
no. That is just, how that's how my own grief expresses. Yeah,
Mhm.
and I've learned to, sometimes it can be very off-putting to people of like, why are you talking about it in that way? And it's like it's in tandem. As much as there is light, there is dark.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
don't think there has to be a division.
Yeah.
We can laugh, we can cry and have tears through this thing, whether they're tears of joy, tears of grief,
Hmm.
tears of anything in between, tears of bloating. All of life happens. Life
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, it does. And the humor it's so important, it's such medicine. It's such medicine and exactly like interwoven with all of it and so beautiful. So thank you so much for jumping on here with me today. Any last word, anything that you want to leave our listeners with today?
Um, I feel like this is like my Emmy or Oscar speech. Like I just got called to the stage. I don't know. I don't know. I think I'll leave one of my favorite quotes that my elders told me is, and this is what keeps me going. The medicine for people is people.
Hmm.
Love that quote.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I love that quote.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
How do people find you if they want to find you for, the desk doula or the one-on-one therapy work online, like any of this? The
Y'all, send a carrier pigeon to your girl. I'm down with it. Listen, I'm
I'm
old
kidding.
school.
I'm not
I'm,
kidding.
I'm old school, put that note in a bottle and chuck that thing in the ocean. That's a great question. I think probably email. I am building the website. That is
Yeah, it's
another
coming
thing. I'm
along.
I'm very thankful that you pushed me to do that. Like, all right, here's the contact, do it. Very thankful for that. So that is in the works. But I would say email
Yeah,
for right now.
great.
So my email is my part of my first name, last name. So it's Lina, Lina, Stanford, Stanford 64 at gmail.com. You
Perfect.
know, very,
We'll put that in the show notes too. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
very unprofesh, you know,
It's all good. It's all
very
good.
humble.
No, I mean, really, the carrier pigeon is actually, I think, has a lot of style.
So I'm like, just
There's
send your girl a bird.
some serious style factors there. So,
Yes.
no, I love it. I love it. Okay, my dear, thank you so, so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
This has been Through the Dark Woods podcast. Thank you so much for listening today. And you'll be hearing more from graduates of our grief tending level 1 and 2 trainings over the coming weeks. Our 4-month grief tending level 1 training, which begins September 15th, which teaches the somatic skills, ethical frameworks, and ritual structures needed to facilitate this work with depth and integrity. So yeah, we're currently enrolling for September 2026. And these conversations that I'm having with, past students, graduates, people who are now out there practicing the work will help give you a window into what becomes possible when we commit to this path, not just as helpful practitioners, but as living examples of what it means to walk through the dark woods and return with gifts. So whether you're here seeking your own healing or training to guide others, you're in the right place. Thank you so much for listening, and check us out at darkwoodsofgrief.com.